And welcome to the Movie Madhouse. I'm Rob.
I'm James.
I'm Jason.
And our good buddy.
I'm here. I don't know what I'm doing. Alfonso.
Hey, Alfonso, how you doing?
Not too bad. How are you guys?
Oh,
as good as can be expected in this day and age.
Yes. Well, right here, we're, like I say every day, we're just living the dream here.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what have you been up to lately? Because I know this has hit you a little different because you have a store, Studio Comics Press. So how is it going now?
Things in store. Has been a little different since COVID hits, right? Like it seems like the way to do business nowadays has changed dramatically. It's not, especially in the market that we are, right? We are dealing with comic books. It's pure entertainment, right?
Yep.
100% it is. It's pure entertainment. So then when COVID started, we know that the first thing that everybody turned to look for were how to get entertained, because I know I'm going to be locked down for many months, weeks, right? And who knows for how long more. But then it has make the comic books something really interesting, though. Like the turn to get comic books nowadays it's kind of interesting to see how the market has changed, how it's evolving to a different line. And I'm happy to see there's a lot of creators over there. They are actually doing new books. They're doing new products. So then it's always good. It hit us a little bit different, yes, because of course we are producers of comic books, right? We do print the comic books. We produce them. The volume is not there as it used to be, a year ago, 2 years ago, but it will come eventually.
Well, it's not just comic books you print, is it?
Well, we print everything, right? So then we have the accessibility to have any type of commercial printing going through the doors, right? I try to narrow down all the printing to a comic book related printed. But of course, if Rob comes around and says, I want to print 20,000 flyers of Rob's foundation, why not?
My foundation needs those.
There you go.
But see, now, we may not be doing flyers, but we are doing something. And I think tonight is a good night to kind of tease people a little bit of what we're doing. We are making a card game.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
And I have your card and yours and yours.
Well, here's
it's
one example. Boom.
Oh, yes.
One of our honorary co-hosts, Mary Ann.
Oh, have you shown her that yet?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and she approves?
Yes. Because I sent her a message going, have you ever wondered what you'd look like on a card? And she went, I was just literally thinking that.
Because it looks awesome.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, it's such a good card.
I think that when Rob came to tell me about this idea, it was just fantastic to see how we can incorporate this kind of like comic book genre style type of game introduced as a board game. It's pretty cool. I like it. Build your own con.
Basically, yes. Because you not only have celebrities, you have artists, cosplayers, and vendors.
Yeah. It's fantastic. I will say that as you already know, Rob, and probably the rest of you guys know, it's a lot of work, right? The devil is in the details, and you need to make sure that everything matches and looks as nice, though. So
exactly.
Pretty awesome.
James says, good evening, guys. What were you going to say, Alfonso?
Hello?
Oh, no, yeah, it's fantastic. And yeah, so then I'm excited to start with I did my homework, Rob. You put me to work.
Let's do this then.
And I did my homework. I have my list here.
Here we go. Greg says, it's a madhouse. Welcome to the main event for the evening. In this corner, James with his obscure movies. Alfonso, our special guest. Jason, Kevin Smith fanboy extraordinaire. And the Bobby Heenan of the group, keeping it all together, Rob. Hey, Bobby Heenan.
Yeah, why do you get to be the weasel?
Right? Shake the snake, if anything, okay?
Oh, come on now.
Oh, look, it's time to get to our list. Top 10 foreign films with Alfonso Espinos from Studio Comics Press. And we always start with our guest. So, Alfonso.
Oh, is it really? Okay, so then I will start. I have to say, Rob, before I start with my list, I have to say that is I need to like I went to kind of like check on the selection of movies that I really want to talk about because, of course, I am from Mexico. Yes, if you walk into the store at Studio Comics Press right at Frederick Street and then you say, "Where are you from?" I will say, "Yes, I'm from Mexico."
Why have you never told me?
It's because you never ask.
I couldn't place the accent. I couldn't quite get it.
So then, I pretty much grew up watching like Mexican films, right, all my life, with like classic guys. I mean, like one of the guys that it can be in every household in Mexico. It could be El Santo, right?
Okay.
I love El Santo. I love all the El Santo movie flicks. They're great. I think they're, even though as cheesy as they could be, they're great, right? But okay, let's start with number 10.
Yes.
Okay? Movie number 10. Roma. Una película. This movie is actually from Mexico. That was 2018. Director was Alfonso Cuarón, Tocayo, my namesake. Tocayo, Alfonso Cuarón, and this movie is Rome. It's called Rome or Roma in Espanol, in Spanish. This movie is pretty much based on like how back on the day in the 50s, the service. I don't know if you guys watch it, but it's how the service worked. How like the life used to be back in the day, black and white. Alfonso Cuarón, beautiful movie.
That's cool. I've never heard of it.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Roma.
And this is why. Serious? Well, I was gonna say, well, it was nominated for Best Picture, but you don't really subscribe to the Oscars, so.
Yeah.
Nope. I gotta
Rob's
be honest.
not a fan.
I sometimes stay away from films.
No. He's not a fan of the Oscars.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that. Big wig back patting. I don't know. Okay, Jason, number 10.
My number 10. Now, again, it's got tricky as usual, but this list I truly am going by rewatchability at this point completely. So my number 10 starts in 1992 with Hard Boiled. Which 2 weeks in a row I forgot to mention that movie, but yeah, I had to go with classic John Woo, Chow Yun-fat, bullets flying everywhere and they never reload their guns. What's not to love?
That's a good one. I can't argue that one.
That's a must watch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of action in that one.
Yeah. It's John Woo, though. What do you expect?
Right?
If you don't have a scene with John Woo and two guys flying in slow motion, jumping with it, it's not a John Woo movie. You know that.
Yeah. If you don't have a slow-mo gunfight, you're not.
They'll turn around and face each other and fire moving back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like that.
All right, James, what's your number 10?
My number 10. My number 10's from 2017. It's a movie called Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh.
It's a Japanese film based on this series of manga comics where this young kid goes out on a date with a girl and he ends up getting attacked. She ends up attacking him, and it turns out she's a ghoul, and she has like long appendages. Basically, turns into a monster, and
I've had dates like that.
I'll bet. And as he's running from her, she ends up getting killed or crushed by something just by accident. But he's also injured because of her attacking him. And what they do they end up in the hospital giving him a transplant to save his life. They give him a transplant from the girl who just attacked him. So he starts to turn into a ghoul, gain these abilities, and then he enters this whole community of these ghouls that live in society but are being hunted by these government guys.
So let me get this straight. They scraped her off the ground, took her to the hospital, and said, "We'll use these parts on this guy."
That's what it sounds like.
All right.
Now, is that an anime or live action?
No, this one was live action. I think there is an anime, and it is based on some comics, but this was the live action.
I
Yeah.
know I've heard of the manga and the anime. I didn't know they made a live action film of it though.
Yeah, it was just a few years ago. They actually, I thought the visual effects were pretty good. Actually, good. They were better than pretty good.
Okay, I'm
Cool.
gonna have to check that out. This list, I know there's gonna be very little I've seen, and I'm gonna have to watch all of it. So, and actually, for my number 10, it's a film that I didn't watch. I was telling Jason a little bit about it before. I'd never seen it, but I heard it was really good. So I wanted to see if I could include it on this list. So I watched it, I think 3 days ago, and since then I've watched it 3 times.
Wow.
Yes, it's from Austria, from 2015, called Goodnight Mommy.
Oh, I've
And-
heard of this.
Yes, it's about 2 kids whose mother goes in for surgery, and then she comes back and her face is all covered in bandages, and she's not acting quite right.
Right.
That's all I'm going to say. It's good.
That's all I know about it.
You need to know about it.
So it's a horror movie?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yes, so
Good night,
good.
mommy. All right.
All right, number 9.
Number
Alfonso.
9. Well, number 9 right here. Let me see what I have. Ooh, Monsabun.
Do what?
Number 9. It's a nice movie, Brazilian movie. It has to be on the list, right?
Oh, of course.
I mean, they did really good 2007. I don't know if that would be okay. Yeah, that would be 2007 Brazilian, of course, Portuguese movie from Paolo Morcerelli, City of Men. No,
Really? It's called
That's-
Reptilian.
City of Men.
Oh, City of Men.
Yeah,
was this the sequel to City of God?
that is correct. And there is a
Ah.
third. That's the third. This one actually, if you watch the first movie, this one kind of like, I want to say that picks up exactly where it finished. It kind of like goes far a few years, and you see now all the actors grown up, all the guys, they are like now more immersed in the gangs and stuff like that. And they actually made a third film of City of Men that was kind of like the closing, like the ending of it. I don't know if any of you have watched that.
I've only watched City of God.
I've heard of, never watched.
It's beautiful, all in the favela in the area of Brazil where it's like super dangerous, and you see how the life of Brazil and the time in there was happening. So it's beautiful. I like it more than anything. That what I like is like the actual photography and how they use the cameras to display all this. Excellent. Exactly.
Nice. I gotta check that one out.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Yeah, it's City of Men.
Very cool.
Okie dokie. That brings up Jason.
My number 9, we're going to Russia this time. With 2004, and I'm putting the 2006 sequel in here as well. Night Watch and Day Watch.
I still have to watch Day Watch.
I stumbled across Night Watch just randomly, and instantly fell in love with it's a great different take on the supernatural with the werewolves and vampires, but there's a light side and a dark side, and they police each other. Based on a book series, which the book series is phenomenal. And yeah, I really, really like those movies, and I go back to them every year or two, and yeah, they had to make the list.
And see, I've heard of both of them, and I keep meaning to watch them, and never have.
This is the movie that broke Timur Bekmambetov.
Yes.
Created Wanted.
Okay.
And the animated movie 9 with the little Stitch puppet dudes.
And Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. You can definitely see his style where it originated from with Night Watch and Day Watch.
Okay.
And also the Ben-Hur remake.
Never did watch that one. The lead actor from Night Watch and Day Watch, I cannot remember the actor's name, but
it's Anton something.
He's in Wanted.
Yep.
He's the rat catcher in the fraternity. The guy who tells him about putting the little bombs on the rats
with the peanut butter.
Yes, that's the lead actor from Night Watch and Day Watch.
Well, Pam says, I heard they're going to make a U.S. remake. Day Night Watch.
Day Night Watch.
You know.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if it happens eventually.
No, but she also mentioned High Tension was a great foreign horror.
I actually have
Yes.
that. I actually have that in my
High
honorable
Tension.
mentions.
We'll come up to that one then. All right. James, number 9.
Okay, my number 9. My number 9 is from 2014, and it is Beauty and the Beast. Now, you may you may think. Okay.
Is the black and white one?
Now, everyone's aware of Brotherhood of the Wolf?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Christoph Gans made I think his follow-up film to that was Silent Hill. His follow-up film to Silent Hill was his own French version of Beauty and the Beast. He made it in 2014. It's got Vincent Cassel and Léa Seydoux in it, and it's a pretty, I'd say it's a slightly different, unique, like a slightly different non-Disney take on the material.
Interesting. Okay, I might need to check that
I
out.
like that. I guess we watched so much Beauty and the Beast with Disney Mark that it just it's normal.
There's no animated candles and chairs flying around and stuff.
Maybe I
As long
won't.
as you have a beauty and a beast, you get a movie.
Yes,
That's all it takes.
it's France. It's French movie.
Nice.
All right.
I'll watch it.
I think you've talked about that on the show like a long time ago, because that's definitely ringing a bell, and I've been curious.
I might have. It would have been last year.
Well, excuse me. My number 9 is from Italy, from 1977.
Whoa.
One of the classics, Suspiria.
I need a pen to write it down.
Dario
I
Argento.
forgot about that movie.
Yes. And they did the remake. I've not watched the remake, so I don't know if it's good or bad.
It's
But
weird.
It's
I'll just say it's weird.
Yeah. It's fascinating to watch this one because when you find out about how they recorded it, it's even more interesting. Because they didn't record audio on set at all.
It's all ADR?
It's all ADR. So it's very interesting to watch it knowing that. So there you go. One to watch.
I've never checked out anything from Dario Argento, but I don't know if I'd really could get into it. I think he's a little too hardcore for me.
Well, it's interesting because the original script was for young girls, but the studio said, no, we need something older and all that. So he changed the actors. They're still youngish, but he did not change the set. So when you're watching, all the door handles are really low and it's set up for young children.
Huh. Interesting.
Pam says, Rob, I liked Suspiria, the original. Remake was crapola.
I wouldn't go as far to say crapola, but it was very weird.
Pam would. And then we got this guy, Dr. Devil. Hello, Alfonso.
Hey, Stevie.
Dr. Steve-O.
Hey,
Ryan says, I have my pen out for suggestions. Love trying different cultures. Old Boy, The Raid, and Parasite are all time favorites.
That's another one. That's another one.
I am set. I forgot a film.
Face palm.
Oh, I can't believe I forgot Old Boy. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot Old Boy. Oh, damn it. And I can't shuffle this. God damn it.
Let's save Jason Alfonso. What's your number 8?
Number 8. One of my favorite directors so far. I think that it has been a beautiful career. I love all the stuff that has been done. New Zealand, 1992, Brain Dead, from Peter Jackson, better known as Alive. Love it, right? Peter Jackson in its mightiest point of comedy, if you want to put it out there, with a little bit of money, what he could do and open the doors to be one of the greatest directors it has been, right? Fantastic movie. Have you watched it?
I have not.
Super boring.
I've always heard about it.
Yep, same. Heard about it, never did check it out.
It's once you watch that movie, you will understand like lots of the talent that Peter Jackson was doing that, right? Because after that, I think that he did this other movie with Michael J. Fox called
The Frighteners.
that one, and that's the one.
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, feel that the Frighteners take out the budget, put double effort of Peter Jackson, and then you have Brain Dead. It's beautiful. That movie is just beautiful, full of gore, full of action, full of Peter Jackson's comedy. So
Ryan is right. I suggested Brain Dead for the last show on B movies. He did.
Oh yeah.
I do have to check that out. It's one of those ones, like you said, I've been meaning to.
Yep.
Okay. In that case, let's move to Jason, number 8.
My number 8, because I had to include it on this list. It's not that old. 2019 Best Picture winner, Parasite.
Yeah.
Like such a phenomenal film. Like because the third act just shifts gears and it's so jarring that it just locks you in. And yeah,
just barely missed my list.
Like that's one of the rare movies that's won the Oscar that truly in my heart deserves all that hype.
What country is that?
That's
it was that good.
I don't know. It got nominated for an Oscar. Yeah.
It's one of those rare ones that totally deserves all of it.
Deserves a better award than Oscar then.
It deserves a good, honest watch is what.
That's cold. Be careful of these guys, Alfonso.
Boom!
Say that.
Boom!
That's there. That's kind of like you have to do it. So, Dr. Stevel said Life is Beautiful, 1997 by Robert.
I have it, but I haven't watched it.
Life is
That's
beautiful.
it. I did see that when it was good. But I'm like Jason, too. My list is all about rewatchability. What do I watch the most?
Yeah.
Sadly, I can't include it. All right, James, number 8.
My number 8 is another French film from 2012. It is called Holy Motors.
Holy Motors?
Yeah, this one. Have any of you guys heard of the movie Cosmopolis?
I've heard the title. That had Robert Pattinson, right?
Robert Pattinson, where he's driving along all day, this rich guy in a limo, and just keeps stopping every once in a while to do all these things. Well, it's similar in that there's this guy driving around in a limo all day, but it's his job. He takes jobs at different places all day, and he's sort of bald, and he's in the back of the limo, and depending on the job that he takes, the location he has to go to, he's putting on makeup. What does Jason and James agree? This guy's falling. He's putting on like a disguise and makeup and stuff. And he goes to a place and he fulfills a role, whether it's he's pretending to be a father dying in bed with his family around him. Then he gets back into the car and he takes off the makeup, puts another thing on, and he goes to another location and he's doing some virtual reality motion capture suit. And then another one, he takes off another stuff, puts on this regular looking outfit, goes to a house where he's the father and the rest of the family are these chimpanzees. And then another one, it's really strange. He's like, it's all these different jobs he has, but he puts on a different disguise and he has to fill these roles. And it's super interesting, a little weird, but super interesting.
A little weird?
Okay, very weird, but very weird, but super interesting.
He pretended to be a dead guy. He's the father to chimpanzees.
And wears masks.
And there's also one where he pretends to be some like crazy guy who doesn't even talk, and he's wandering around a cemetery and like picking up flowers and shoving them in his mouth. While Eva Mendes is like this model on a shoot, and he kidnaps her and takes her down into the sewer. And it's a great movie, but prepare for weird.
Greg said, James, did you play left field in baseball? Because this pick is way out at the end of the
center field.
There we go. Dr. Steele said, I've watched a few really good German films. Not much of a story to them, and I could not understand what they were saying, but the visuals were amazing. As long as you're getting enjoyment out of the film, that's all that matters.
There you go.
Okay, well, for my number 8, I couldn't include my favorite movie of all time because it's not foreign. So I had to find some way to pay homage to it. And the one way I do is a film from Japan from 1954 called Seven Samurai.
I haven't seen any of the. I have not seen a Kurosawa film.
That one and Hidden Fortress. I guess I can lump them together because that was the big inspiration for Star Wars. So
more so Hidden Fortress.
Yes.
Seven Samurai is what led to the Magnificent Seven.
Right, but Lucas pulled from both of them. And
that's true. Yes.
Unfortunately, I don't watch Hidden Fortress because I don't have it, but I do watch this one a lot, so I had to go with this one.
Nice pick. Again, that's a movie that I'd always heard about. I never watched old movies like that. And doing this podcast, I started opening myself up and watching the classics. And yeah, Seven Samurai is a really awesome flick.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, Alfonso, number 7.
Moving to number 7, another Mexican movie. Okay, this one is on Spanish, directed by Guillermo del Toro in 2006. And this is El Laberinto del Fauno, Pan's Labyrinth.
That's my number 1.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
Pan's Labyrinth is outstanding.
I'm going to be honest, and I am kicking myself. I have never watched it. I have meant to. It's one that I wanted to watch because I thought my wife would like it, but we just never did watch it.
It is so good.
That's what I've always heard, and I just never have.
Well, coincidentally, that is also my number 6.
Oh,
for 7.
Nice.
My number 7 as well. But see, I have it listed from Spain.
What?
I have it listed as country of origin is Spain.
Basically, when Guillermo del Toro produced that movie, he actually filmed that movie in Mexico. He filmed it in Mexico, and I think produced it in Spain. But at the end of the day, when the movie was out in the market, I think it was as a Mexican movie. It came out as a Mexican movie. I will have to check the details. I could go wrong on that one, right?
I think it's supposed to be set in Spain.
Yeah, that's the whole idea, right? It was filmed in Mexico, but it was kind of like a Spain type of feeling, type of scenery. I don't know. I could be wrong again, right?
Interesting. I just went by IMDb, and that's what the list was listed as country of origin.
Yeah,
but they might be wrong. Trust me.
Okay, I didn't know that. Like it. Well, I'm probably wrong.
It still counts on the list, though. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's not U.S., not Canada. You're good.
Yep. All right, Jason, number 7.
My number 7. We're heading back over to Japan for the year 2000 Battle Royale. You know, the movie that inspired the Hunger Games, a lot of people say. But the Hunger Games wishes it was as good as Battle Royale.
Oh, fuck that.
Oh, really?
I think someone disagrees.
Yeah. No, Battle Royale is just awesome. It was jarring when it came out. Nobody was expecting anything like that. It's actually gets pretty brutal and gory, and it's awesome. I'm not going to even. Let's not talk about the sequel. We don't talk about that.
Talk about the sequel.
Wait. James likes it, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I don't hate Battle Royale. I think Hunger Games is way better, but Battle Royale 2 is awful.
Yeah, I
agree on that one. Second one we don't talk about.
Ryan said he loves Battle Royale.
Yeah, Battle Royale is just awesome, and it really has paid. There's been a lot of movies that have borrowed from it over the years since. So
even the doctor agrees. Battle Royale was amazing. Great choice. Very nice. Oh, Pam Ortiz. Hunger Games was weak,
but better than Battle Royale. So.
James, number 7.
Okay. This is number 7. This is the first of 4 Korean films in a row for my next 4 movies. This is number 7. This is from 2018. This is a film called Burning.
Burning.
Yeah, it got some recognition a year or two ago when it came out. And this is largely straight Korean cast, but you've also got Stephen Ewan from Walking Dead in there. And this one is it's sort of like Parasite. It's as good as you've heard it is.
Okay.
Because it's got a very large ambiguous element to it.
That doesn't actually bode well since I've never heard of it.
What?
I've never heard of it either.
Really?
No, that title's not ringing a bell at all.
I have heard of it, but I never watched it though.
I would highly recommend it. I'd put it on par with Parasite. It's as good as Parasite.
Pam says The Host. You guys gotta watch it.
The host is good. The Host is a good movie.
Yes, The Host was really, really good, and it came out of nowhere, but it unfortunately didn't make my list.
Well, let's find. Oh wait, my number 7 is Pan's Labyrinth, as we've already discovered.
Sorry.
And we go to number.
We're probably going to be a little bit yet, but you can go ahead and anytime.
Oh, it's supper time.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries, Alfonso. Number 6.
Number 6. Woo. Italy. Let's go to Italy this time around with Giuseppe Tornatore, a movie from 1988. In every list, it has to be a Italian movie, and this one is Cinema Paradiso.
Cinema Paradiso.
Yes.
Oh, I've always heard about that.
Oh,
I watched it back when it first came out and really blew up and all, but I honestly, it didn't stick with me enough to make the list.
Yeah.
I know about it because I'm a big fan of Legend of 1900, which was one of the other Giuseppe Tornatore films.
Yeah. It's one of those movies. It's one of those movies that you have to be like, in the mood to be, like a little bit sitting down and feeling kind of like gloomy, I guess, to kind of watch it. It's really good. It's one of those romantic type of Italian histories. Everybody has watched. Well, almost everybody has. But when you talk about like a movie like this, kind of representative of the era, Cinema Paradiso.
Absolutely.
With a little cutout, right? And the guy.
That is a great choice. I can't believe I forgot that one. Dr. Stevel said, I agree with Pam. Hunger Games was weak. The main character had 2 emotions, bored and asleep, and Peter was a good bitch. And then Ryan said, someone on here recommended Dogtooth. That's a good foreign flick.
I haven't seen that one.
Thank you, Ryan.
Dogtooth. Yeah, no.
Do you remember someone saying that?
I was the same guy who did The Lobster and Killing of a Sacred Deer and The Favorite.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well,
Jason, number 6.
my number 6. We're going to head down to New Zealand for a little documentary from 2014 called What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, yes. Dang it, I forgot about that one.
Taika Waititi, baby. Like
I still got to check that out.
I hummed and hawed on this because I almost wanted to slip the Hunt for the Wilder People in here instead, but I went with What We Do in the Shadows first. So, like, if you've never seen it, there is an FX series based on it now that continues the story. I have not checked that out yet. But What We Do in the Shadows is a mockumentary about vampires, classic style vampires living in New Zealand, and it is fantastic.
Oh yeah, it is so good.
Jermaine Clement this is my first introduction because I'd never experienced like Flight of the Conchords or anything. So this is my first experience for Jermaine Clement, and he's phenomenal.
Actually, I bet you it isn't.
Oh,
did you ever see Rio? About the bird?
That animated Johnny Depp movie.
I never actually watched it.
Okay, because Jermaine is the lead villain parrot.
Okay. All right. But no, what we do in the shadows is I'm pretty sure my first introduction to Jermaine Clement, and instantly just fell in love
He
with
was
that
also
guy.
in Dinner for Schmucks, if you saw that.
I did see that, but like not that long ago, so I don't even really remember it too much.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, what we do in the shadows, like it's just hilarious.
Nice. James, number 6.
My number 6 is as I said, the second of 4 Korean films in a row here. It's from 2002. It's close to Old Boy, but it came out before it. This is Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance.
Haven't heard of that one.
It was the first in the Vengeance trilogy, and this is a prime example of how much worse can this guy's day get.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
I like those kind of films. I do. I don't know why, but I do.
Because it makes you feel better about yourself.
Maybe that's
Well,
it.
yeah, and I was just telling my girlfriend about this, and the early premise in the movie is the guy is trying to get money together because his sister needs a kidney transplant. So he goes to the doctor who doesn't have one available. So he goes to the black market who has one. So he meets up with the black market people. They knock him out, incapacitate him, take his money, and he wakes up minus 1 kidney. Well, lo and behold, the doctor now has a kidney available that's a match to his sister, and it requires the amount of money that he's just lost. So he has to go a step further and kidnap some high-ranking official, and it just spirals downward from there.
That's a pretty high bar to start at. Okay?
So no matter how bad your day gets, it's not going to be as bad as that, guys.
No, and it gets worse.
Well, my number 6 is a classic from 1962. It's a film from the UK. And it started a franchise that is continuing to this day. Dr. No.
No. I should have suspected.
Yes. There's like 4 that I just love out of the whole franchise, and that's one that I watch a lot.
Very cool. Well, it's Bond, and it started Bond. So, hey, what more can you say about a franchise that's lasted this long?
Exactly. All right, number 5, Alfonso.
Number 5. Okay. Where is my number 5? All right, here. Okay, number 5. It's an Argentinian movie from Eliseo Subiela. That was a 2001, and this is a second part. This is the second part of this movie. I don't know if this is wrong because they have some of the movies in first place, but the second part is called The Dark Side of the Moon, or El Lado Oscuro del Corazón. Sorry, The Dark Side of the Heart, not of the moon. The Dark Side of the Heart, El Lado Oscuro del Corazón.
I've never heard of this.
This is a Argentina movie, Eliseo Subiela. It's about this guy who is deep into poetry. He actually grabs like the 2 books of Mario Benedetti, and he incorporates it within the movie. So then you're watching the movie, and then you are actually going through the poetry of Mario Benedetti. Beautifully done. The second one is a little bit too weak. It's a little bit weak, but it's still so nice. It's like continuation of what happened. It's like a prequel of what happened in the first one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I've never been one for poetry, but I'm interested to see this one and how they visualize it.
It's more like the way how every time that, for example, Mario Benedetti starts like saying a piece of poetry, right? Like one of the pieces, he actually uses it to make sure that it gets to a part of his life, kind of like how to use a piece of poetry to apply into his life, right? And how he discovers it. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
I gotta watch that one. I got a lot on this.
I have it here, Rob.
Oh, there we go. All right, Jason, number 5.
My number 5. We're gonna take a trip up to Scotland for this one here. This is the 1996, and I'm gonna again tack in the 2017 sequel, Trainspotting.
No, that's my number one.
Really?
Oh, nice. Yeah, come on, Train
Well
Spotting.
done.
It's iconic, and I absolutely loved the sequel. I thought, I was leery, coming back to a movie 20 years later and all, can it work? But they pulled it off. It's got such great moments, and of course that creepy ass baby scene. And
The creepiest
you
one.
and Ewan McGregor going headfirst into a toilet. Like,
He puts his body into it.
yeah, he put his full body into it. All right, it come on, it's Train Spotting.
Exactly.
Choose
Exactly.
life.
Good pick. Very good pick. I forgot about that one. All right, James, number 5. Wait, let me guess. It's from Korea.
Well, as I said, this is the third of 4 movies from Korea. It's from 2010. It's called The Man from Nowhere.
I've never heard of that one.
This one is sort of you get a former special ops guy who's who has suffered a tragedy in his life, and he's living in isolation in an apartment building, and his only friend is this little girl that lives in the building. Well, her mother, working as a prostitute, gets killed, and she gets kidnapped, and she's his only connection to the world, basically. And so he does what he does to get her back. And then at the same time, the police are investigating. They find out, holy shit, this guy's a very dangerous man, and he's going after these guys. So
Interesting.
yeah,
I may have actually seen that. That's
quite
sounding
possibly
rather familiar.
Yeah.
I know I've talked about it on the show before.
Maybe that's it, because it sounded a bit familiar to me too, but I know I've never seen it.
Maybe.
All right. Well, my number 5, we're down in Argentina. Now we're back up in England again, the UK. From 1974, the iconic Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
I so badly I wanted to include it, but I got to be honest. As much as I like Monty Python, I just couldn't do it. All these other movies just come ahead of it. So it is in my honorable mentions. So
there we go. All right, number 4, Alfonso.
Oh, okay. Ooh, number 4, another Mexican movie.
There we
Right,
go.
but this one is an animated one, and the most important thing, the reason why I put it on the list is because these guys that they put together this movie, they worked independently to actually found this movie. They put their money towards this, and they actually generate a good market. Right, it's based on a comic book, on a local comic book, based on the characters of 2 comic book artists, His and Trino. The movie is called El Santos contra la Tetona Mendoza. That it will translate such as El Santos versus the Busty Mendoza, right? You gotta watch the comic book. You gotta really read a few strips of the comic book, or really see the visual part of the comic book to understand the movie. And it's pretty much the parody of El Santo, the one that we know as a wrestler. But this one is just a pure comedy wrestling type of thing happening right there. You can find this movie. I have seen this movie in a few platforms over there online. It's kind of a little bit hard to get, but if you get the chance to watch this movie, please do so. El Santos contra la Tetona Mendoza. It's famous for the commercial, though.
Cool.
I feel like I've heard of the El Santo character and whatnot, but I've never experienced any of it.
The one thing on Mexico and wrestling.
I know how that
Lucha
goes.
Libre, right? Because it's Lucha Libre, right? So you got the 2 icons over there, was El Santo and Blue Demon. Both of them, they were always fighting on the movies, right? And both of them fighting like the werewolf and the witches and all different kinds of outer space, right? And they were really popular again, like within in the country, right? They were doing really good. Yeah.
Very cool.
So that would make it something like this.
Like
what?
What is that?
Exactly. El Santos. And the whole thing is like this guy, like it seems like a wrestler, but all the characters are like different.
Looks like Rick and Morty.
You have a guy who is his name is El Peyote Asesino. That it translates to like I don't know, marijuana, the walking marijuana, the walking peyote. Right?
Yeah, I like that art style. That's a cool style.
Awesome. It's fun. Thank you, Rob. That was good.
That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely got to watch that one.
Yeah.
All right, Jason, number 4.
My number 4. James will have to confirm this, but I believe this one's Korean as well. It is from 2016, Train to Busan.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
honestly one of the best modern zombie flicks that we have seen in a long time. I have not watched the sequel. I'm a little leery because I've heard so many mixed reactions, but this first movie, Train to Busan, great story, amazing zombie effects, and it's a great zombie flick. Absolutely love that movie.
Take my opinion for what it's worth. Peninsula is a great follow-up.
All right.
Peninsula.
That's my disclaimer. Take it for what it's worth.
Yeah, sadly we know his tastes.
Did you say that was your number 2, Rob?
That's my number 2.
Nice.
Oh,
nice.
So, hey, put that finger down. James, what's your number 4?
Okay, the last of my Koreans on this list. It is from 2013. Is film from Korea called New World. And it is the movie that very much parallels the story of Infernal Affairs and by extension The Departed, but towards the end takes it in a slightly different direction.
Interesting.
Yeah, and a much better direction if you ask me, but a lot of it follows the same plot beats, but just it was done a lot better in my opinion.
Very cool.
So it's the undercover cop getting into the organized crime kind of situation.
Yeah, but and I can explain what I mean if Rob wants to throw up the spoiler thing.
I can do that.
Okay. Okay. So you know at the end of Infernal Affairs, who's seen Infernal Affairs?
I think I did way back when, but it's been a long time.
Oh, who's seen The Departed?
Oh, yeah, I watched that when it first came out. Yes.
Well, at the end of the Infernal Affairs and Departed, the cop that's undercover in the criminal organization, his handler gets killed, and he also gets killed by one of the guys in the cop, by a cop who was actually an undercover criminal. Okay. Now, in Infernal Affairs, the criminal that's undercover in the police organization continues on posing as a cop and through a couple of movies. In The Departed, the criminal that's undercover in the cops gets killed. That's Matt Damon, gets killed by Mark Wahlberg, and that's the end of that movie. In New World, you've got the cop that's undercover in the criminal organization. Well, there's only 2 people that know he's a cop. One is his handler, who's screwing him around, and the other one is his best friend in the criminal organization who was trying to find out dirt on the cop who's the handler. Well, towards the end of the movie, his best friend gets mortally wounded and tells him, "I know who you really are, and you need to choose a side." And he ends up dying. The guy who's the undercover cop decides to have, well, I'm done having this cop screw me around. Has his handler killed, has his rival to the criminal organization killed, and assumes control of the criminal organization instead of getting killed or getting out of the business. He eliminates everyone who knows he's an undercover cop and becomes the top kingpin.
So it's basically Korean Luke Cage.
I haven't seen Luke Cage, so I don't know.
Son of a gun. All right. Okay. Mine is from Japan, and it was actually my first introduction to anime or Japanimation, whatever you call it.
Hentai doesn't count.
No. Oh, it doesn't? I don't have a 4.
I'm kidding.
It's 1988 Akira.
I haven't seen that.
I love the animation in that film, not to mention the story, and that's what keeps me going back to it over and over again.
I have not watched that movie in probably 30 years. It's been way too long. I've been wanting to revisit it for a long time, and I've just never gotten around to it. Like, wow.
Maybe a non-bad, non-lying watch.
It's on my radar. I've just got a few other things I got to get to.
But see, I didn't want to make it our challenge, so I just said it a different way.
I got it, and I will be getting to it. Like it's been on my mind for a while, so I got to get to it.
All right, number 3, Alfonso.
Oh my goodness, I'm so thinking on Akira. It's like such a great movie.
Oh, it's so good. So
Number 3. Okay, so I didn't know that prequels were tied into the same category when it comes to that. So then I put a number 3, Trainspotting number 2. That it has been already mentioned.
Sure.
It's been there. Yeah. Beautiful movie. I mean,
it's surprising how well they were able to come back together and gave us a really great story. Not to mention that whole kind of unexpected twist, if you will, with I believe it's Spud, I think is his name.
Yes.
Like that was just amazing work.
Yeah, that was good. It was a great job. That movie is one of them that I could watch every day, and I cannot.
Which movie was this again?
Trainspotting 2.
Trainspotting.
Oh yes.
Yeah. It's one of those that it never gets old. I mean,
I like how they got to use the T2. They asked James Cameron, like he let him use the T2.
Yeah.
that could fall in
Great.
a couple minutes. All right, Jason, number 3.
Number 3. Now, this is the movie I told you about beforehand, Rob. So I had my list made today. I was happy with it, and I'm talking to my coworkers, going over it, and one of them mentioned a set of movies, and I had totally forgotten, and it pissed me off because I had to include it. So I basically blew up my list, had to shuffle things around, but I had to pick one out of this trilogy. So I went with Chapter 2 of the famous Cornetto trilogy, and that's 2007's Hot Fuzz.
Okay.
Hot Fuzz.
It barely edges Shaun of the Dead for me, but I go back to Hot Fuzz more than Shaun of the Dead, so Hot Fuzz takes the lead.
And that was 07?
That was 07.
Doesn't seem like that long ago.
Mm-hmm. It was.
Dang. Okay.
Only 13 years ago.
Hot Fuzz is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. Right to the very end, too. After they've captured all the townsfolk and you're watching them get their mugshots, and all these sweet old people throughout the film now look like crazy lunatics.
Good choice. All right, James, number 3.
All right, my number 3 is it's a French film from 2001. As I mentioned earlier when I talked about Beauty and the Beast, this is the other one from Christophe Gans. This is Brotherhood of the Wolf.
I saw that movie when it first came out, but I honestly don't remember. I love Mark Dacascos, but for some reason, I just don't remember that movie very well.
I used to watch it a lot. I haven't watched it in a while now, but I used to watch it every once in a while. It is a pretty awesome. It has some great action scenes, great martial arts scenes, but a good story as well. And Monica Bellucci naked. So hey.
What? Oh, now I gotta watch it.
I've mentioned it before. Mark Dacascos to me is like a highly underrated actor, not just for action. He's just got a great charisma. And knowing that my favorite Mark Dacascos movie, Drive, is getting a director's cut release later this year.
What's that?
Drive.
What's that?
It's an action movie he did where he's got like this heart implant that makes him almost like a super soldier, and mercenaries are chasing him, and it's a lot of fun. It's silly, cheesy action fun. Kadeem Hardison from A Different World's in it. Brittany Murphy is in it in a really great, crazy role. I love that movie, and I found out that it's getting like a re-release, a director's cut re-release in a few months. So I'm probably going to be having a Mark Dacascos marathon this summer. So Brotherhood
Nice.
we will be revisiting.
He was also very good in John Wick Chapter 3.
Yes, he was.
I don't think I've seen that one.
What?
No. I was just peeking at some pictures. I've not seen it. I have to watch that.
John Wick 3? John Wick Chapter 3? I mean, come on.
Forget John Wick. It's just another action movie.
Where's the button to kick Rob out?
No kidding. No kidding. It's not working.
It's not working.
There, it worked.
That's rude. Okay. My number 3, and it's very interesting that you brought up Hot Fuzz, because mine is the other one, 2004 from England, Shaun of the Dead.
What I find interesting is you went Shaun of the Dead, I went Hot Fuzz, but neither one of us have mentioned The World's End.
That's the best of the trilogy. Best of the trilogy. I stuck to completely foreign language films for this one. Otherwise, I would have had that one.
Sure.
See, that's how you know it sucks. James likes it.
It doesn't suck. It does. It's just not to me as strong as the others.
No, and that's the same way. I really enjoyed watching it, but honestly, the other two I watch more.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're good.
Okay, number 2, Alfonso.
Oh my goodness. Okay, number 2. We're gonna go back to Spain this time around for this movie. Well, sorry, France. For this movie.
I get those mixed up.
This one, yeah. This one is a weird one. It's a 1929 movie. And to me, I think it made it to the top of the list just because it was kind of like it inspired me a lot when it comes to the arts and stuff like that. And this one is called, it was directed, as you know, for Luis Buñuel and Salvador Dali. And this one is An Andalusian Dog, Un Perro Andaluz. Beautiful movie. I think it was one of the only movies that Luis Buñuel, this guy, Salvador Dali, did when he was running through his filmmaking career. And it's just one of those black and white 21-minute beautiness of weirdness. And it's beautifully done.
What's it called?
You can find it. I think you can even find it on YouTube. If you want to watch it, it's just
okay.
What's it called?
An Andalusian Dog. Or Un Perro Andaluz. I don't know how's the straight up translation of it, but it's an Andalusian dog.
Because I've never heard of that.
Oh, yeah.
No, neither have I.
Yeah, it's one of those really weird ones, but really nice ones. Luis Buñuel and Salvador Dali.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, now, actually, if we were going to put a short on there, my number 3 would have been different. Because it would have been La Gite. I think it's from France as well. But it's also
the one they based 12 Monkeys on?
Exactly. Yeah. That is great. Because there is one cut that is a moving picture. Everything else is a still picture.
Okay.
Very good watch. But yeah, I got to find that one because I have not heard of that.
Luis Buñuel and Salvador Dali. You will find it over there.
Okay.
Very cool.
And what's the last name?
Salvador Dali. You know the painter? The one who did the melting clocks?
Salvador Dali, the legendary artist?
Yeah, painter. Artist. He was immersed into the filmmaking at some point in his career.
I never knew that.
Yeah. And he did this movie. I'm sorry, I know like maybe my pronunciation of the actual word might not be the proper one, but it's the Andalusian Dog. Right?
No, it's all good. We figured it out.
That's what Google's for.
Exactly.
So,
all right, Jason.
Google, tell me what Alfonso is saying.
Jason, number 2.
My number 2, we're heading over to Japan again. And I'm again putting a movie and its sequel back to back here. We're going with 2011's The Raid Redemption. Hello, Ryan Haskell. And the follow-up 2014, The Raid 2.
The Raid 2 is my number 2, and they're actually from Indonesia.
Oh, really? I thought they were Japan. My mistake. Indonesia.
But that's my number 2. Raid 2.
Those movies are awesome. The Raid 2 just took what was already awesome and just went next level with it.
Greatest action movie ever made.
It's definitely up there for sure. I will not dispute that. Those movies are just badass, balls to the wall, martial arts extravaganzas, violent as all hell, and I just love that.
And what year did you say that was?
Raid Redemption is 2011. The Raid 2 is 2014.
Okay. Well, see, that's easy. Now the rest of us are done for 2 because Raid Redemption, Raid 2, and Train to Busan. So that puts us number 1. Oh, Alfonso, we know you're number 1.
I'm out.
Yes, Train Spotting. Jason.
But I'm still gonna say choose life, choose a career.
Actually, this is from Korea.
No.
My
number 1 is from the UK.
Ooh.
And I'm going with 1998's Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Okay.
Guy Ritchie, baby. I wanted to put Rock and Rolla in this spot, but Rock and Rolla is a joint U.S. effort. So Lock, Stock is the only one that is straight up UK. So it made the list. And if you've not seen it, go watch it right now.
That's a good one. That's a really good one.
I'm going to be busy tonight, though.
See?
Yeah, I'm just going to be looking for all these movies. Right?
You watch Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, follow that with Snatch, and then Rock and Rolla. You're having a good night.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then wrap it up with The Gentleman.
Oh, yes, of course.
Gentlemen.
The latest one, yes, from last year. Yes. The Gentleman is a great cap off there.
Very cool.
Come on. Play with me.
So let me take a quick look because I think James is already known too, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Pan's Labyrinth.
That's right.
Oh,
okay.
I just love that.
I think we're listening to the podcast.
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh.
Is that me?
That was me.
We're Back to the Future.
No, Snatch is also a joint U.S. effort. That's why it didn't make it. I didn't include it. Lock, Stock is the only one that was straight UK.
See, now we know.
Mm-hmm.
And
knowing is half the battle.
Exactly. Go, Joe. Okay. Well, my number 1 is from England as well. And it has been on my list for a couple other topics. I think Christmas movie was one of them. And it's from 2003, Love Actually.
Oh, sure.
I mean, slightly concerned. I thought you were going to go Stupid Christmas. Like, you know what I mean.
Gremlins 2. You mean it's not?
No.
That's poop.
I already had that whole Die Hard's not a Christmas movie argument again today. I don't need to rehash it again.
What do you mean?
At work, we got into that discussion again.
Oh.
We're not going there. Talk about Love Actually.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
No, I'm not. I have watched his videos. I have watched previous ones, so I'm not going to go. I know.
All right.
I'm out.
Probably a safe idea. And the doctor says, "What the fuck is Love Actually?" It is only the best English movie I know.
You haven't seen very many English movies, then.
I've seen a billion. I watch this movie more than any other movie.
You should watch The Sweeney.
Why?
Because it's better.
Nothing is better. Sorry. But thanks for playing. There we go. Our list is now posted, so people can check out our list if they didn't get to watch the show, but they should be able to watch it because it's now on Facebook Live forever.
Yay.
Yes.
Yes.
I got a couple extra honorable mentions, if you don't mind.
Fire away.
Real quick here. 2012, The Hunt, a Danish film starring Mads Mikkelsen.
That is a good one.
That is a phenomenal dramatic piece by Mads Mikkelsen. It was actually my number 10 until Hot Fuzz came along and shut everything down. So,
Very, very timely as well.
Oh yeah. And
Potter.
it has nothing to do with the movie The Hunt that came out last year. Entirely different.
Oh,
plot.
Which entirely different, better, but entirely different.
I also have Ip Man, the first Ip Man from 2008 with Donnie Yen. You know, great martial arts flick. And I mentioned The Hunt for Wilder People earlier. And the last one is a French movie that I stumbled across. My wife won tickets for a screening here in town. It's a French film called C'est la vie from 2017. It's all about this wedding planner who's having to put together a crazy wedding, like just really ridiculous wedding. And it's the groom that's making it crazy, not the bride. It's the groom. But all his crazy cast of characters and nothing's going right, and it's his birthday on top of it all. It was again, we won tickets to see it, and I'm really glad we did. It is a fun French comedy flick.
I've never heard of that, but I have two honorable mentions, both Mel Gibson movies, Passion of the Christ and Apocalypto.
Nice.
I've never watched either one.
What?
They're good. They're good.
That's insane.
Passion of the Christ. I read the book when I was a kid. I need to see the movie.
It is outstanding. Jim Caviezel's performance in that movie.
What's that, Alfonso?
Apocalypto, I will give them that super action packed,
It
to end kind of like what if type of thing. But it's kind of like it's just visually amazing.
Especially when it's full of a bunch of people you've never seen in a movie before.
Yeah. It's so good. Any honorable mentions, Alfonso?
You know what? I don't know. I don't think so.
It's a good list. Trust me.
I wrote out for separately, but I didn't put it on my list. I put that one. That's on Seven Samurai, but I think like somebody else will pick it. And sure they did.
Yep, me. Excellent. All right. Thank you so much, Alfonso, for coming on today.
Yes,
thank you very much, you guys.
Thank you.
Great. This has been fun. We got to do this again. Now I know what kind of movies is the ones that you target for. So next time I will have right here a cast, like a little, movie number 9.
Little prompt screen.
Top screen. The movies.
Or you could pull a Mary Anthony and just run through all 10 of yours before we start.
Yep. First time she came on. I remember that vividly. There was no stopping her. Here's my number 10. Here's my number 9. Oh, gee, my number's 8. Okay, let's do it this way.
I watch you guys, so that's I know. You guys, like what happened is like sometimes in the morning when I go to open the shop, I have at the beginning I kind of like start up the equipment, start like moving things around. So I got the list of my podcasts of the people that I follow, Rob being one of them. So then from time to time I put play and you guys and you're like all this stuff is happening all around the store while I'm working. So then I'm listening to you. So it's kind of fun to hear you guys around there. So
that's awesome. Thank you so
much. Very cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Guys, this has been fun.
Well,
yes, sir.
I think that wraps us up for this week.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Can we do another 10? I can bring another 10 movies.
Bring him back next week.
We'll get a good list for him.
You really want me next week? You see, we have only like 20 people watching.
Where right now?
Yeah. No.
I don't know. I can only see the feed from one platform, and right now we're on 3. So
okay.
I don't know.
Just ask him back for our next week's topic.
Ooh, what is it?
Well, actually, we have someone else coming on for that topic.
Is it the off-kilter roles?
Yes. I found out what the correct term is, by the way. It's departure roles.
Departure roles.
Departure
Interesting.
roles. So,
Okay.
an actor is known for playing a certain type of character, but he does a departure role that is different from what he's known for.
That actually works much better.
But we're going to get a new topic for Alfonso, and we'll get it
Yeah.
back.
No,
Absolutely.
that's too hard for me.
All right, cool.
Alrighty. Well, for another week at the Movie Madhouse, I'm Rob.
I'm James.
I'm Jason.
I'm Alfonso.
Yes.
Yay!
And we will see you all later.
Bye-bye.
Toodles.